Fakakta Comedy Funhouse Network.
Yes. Welcome all of my friends to Couch Pilots, the show that dares to fly into the unknown territory of awful television pilots of the past. My name is Jason, but won't you please call me the Black Bjorn? And across from me is my Bjorn Jorg. It's Captain Philip Restisher. Good evening.
She's from Iceland?
Bjork.
Oh, Bjorn Borg is the tennis player.
Beyond pork.
I love me some pork. I had some pork this weekend.
They say pork is the other white meat. What's the first one? Chicken?
No, the Aryan Nation.
The Aryan Nation. Yeah, that's right. You say you had some Aryan Nation this weekend, you said?
I had some pulled pork this weekend.
Whereabouts?
Holiday World in Santa Claus,
here
Indiana.
we go. Holiday World.
We talked about it last year.
Home of Jay Cutler, right?
Yes, home of Jay Cutler. There's not one sign in that fucking city that says home of Jay Cutler.
I can imagine why.
Exactly. An interesting situation happened. Would you partake in hearing?
I don't have anything planned for the next 70 minutes. Go ahead.
All right. So the other night, me and the stewardess, Molly, we were sitting upstairs having a couple of drinks, cocktails.
Oh.
And I got a direct message on Twitter from Holiday World.
Now, this is a place that you love going to. It's a cool little theme park in Santa Claus, Indiana.
Yep, it's a theme park and water park
combined. And it's kind of like, one of those ones that kind of fly under the radar. People think, ooh, Disney World. People think, oh my God, Six Flags. But this one is just as good, you said.
They're rated in the top 5 of the country.
And was it pretty packed?
No, it was because it was a Monday that we went.
Okay.
It was very busy, but not so busy that it was unbelievably busy. So here's what happened. So Thursday night, I get a direct message from Holiday World saying, "Hey, would you be interested in coming to Holiday World to be extras in our video shoot? You'll get in for free. We'll give you some passes to come back again."
Yeah,
I was like, "Sure."
That's pretty amazing.
Sounds great to me. I feel like a VIP. I listen to the podcast. I talk to them, send feedback all the time.
You had taught you to the point where you had contacted them and say, "Hey, I'm a podcaster too." And then the people who own the park, which is a family owned, right?
Sure.
They came out and they met you and talked with you.
And my family, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, right? We're gonna go before the park opens. Problem is, we're gonna ride roller coasters.
Well, you don't like that?
I can't stand them. I'm so scared to death of them.
Last time you were so proud that you had ridden one, you purchased a shirt. Is that right?
That is absolutely correct, and I forgot to wear it.
Oh, jeez.
No, but one of the stipulations is you had to wear shirts that had no
affiliation with the
park?
or
graphics of any kind. No words, no nothing. So Molly's like, "We're doing this." Eli loves roller coasters. 9 years old, loves them. Not scared at all.
I'm thinking this is like a commercial for the park.
Right. I'm thinking we're doing some promo videos for the park that they'll use in commercials, maybe some still photos that they might use for a billboard. I mean, obviously, look at me.
I'd put you on a billboard.
Thank you very much. So we drive down there Sunday night, stay the night at the worst hotel in the world, Santa Lodge.
See, when I think of Santa, I think of jolly old Saint Nick.
Yeah,
right?
This is no. This place was a bad hotel, and it's been there for a long time.
Ugh.
I think they just don't care anymore. They're just making. They know they're making their money.
Yeah.
If you would have went, being both of us having experience in the hotel field,
right?
It was very apparent of the problems. But anyway,
gross.
I digress. With that being said, homage to Adam Z. So we go.
What's my penis in now? That's from Low Blow Podcast. Yeah. He says that.
But he also says, what would I just say?
That being said?
Yeah, he always said, that being said. But anyway, so we get there at 7 o'clock in the morning. Nobody in the parking lot, get front space.
Oh, nice. Princess parking, as it's called.
Mm-hmm. There's about 25 people ends up being in this line. Okay,
they're all there for the same reason.
All there for they've been requested to come, VIP status, right? We get there. we find out that this is not promotional videos that they're filming. This is a pilot for the Travel Channel for a roller coaster specific TV show.
What are you talking about?
Are you?
This is a podcast about pilots.
Yes, failed pilots.
Are you telling me
That I was
that you were the star of a roller coaster pilot episode?
I wasn't the star. My stepson ended up being a star. My wife quite a bit too. My wife. I didn't write any of them, so I chickened out, and so I did a lot of standing, waiting.
Can this podcast continue if you've been in a pilot episode of something
That goes to series?
It's like it's a paradox, is what we're entering.
Yes, it could be.
Okay.
Here, I'll give you the premise real quick.
All right.
So it's a Travel Channel show. I was talking to the host and the producer.
Chris Hardwick.
No, no, not at all. The producer saying, hey, Travel Channel has given us the money for this pilot. They want to pick it up. We just got to see how this goes. The premise is this one guy is going to go all over the country and ride roller coasters.
Nice.
Okay. Great premise for a Travel Channel show.
It's like the diners and dives.
Exactly.
And the guy who does all the food challenges.
Exactly.
Except you're going on a roller coaster.
Exactly. So basically, for the first 3 hours before the park opens,
You got to do a lot of stretches.
Lots of stretches. There actually was a guy that was doing stretches, and he's also like a member of like the coaster crew, like national
The coaster crew?
national roller coaster association, whatever.
What do you think is sadder, being a member of the coaster crew or having your refrigerator full of bottle caps?
It's a tight squeeze.
Yeah, it is.
I'm gonna say it's a tie. So basically, I'll give you an example.
All right.
The first roller coaster, the Raven, I would have rode it because that's the only one I've ever ridden, and I can do it.
Oh, that's the one that you have the shirt of.
Right.
Okay.
They were filming us, standing in line. The guys coming through talking to people. Then they move up and they film us at the top of the, ready to get in. They fill up the whole cart. There's one little kid in the back by himself. I'm not getting in that back fucking cart. There's no way. I'm not getting the back one. The last one, no way.
Yeah.
You get a lot more air there.
Who always ends up decapitated? The guy in the back.
Exactly. So I kind of ease my way and kind of fall back down the stairs.
Kind of ease it in a little bit.
Kind of fall back down the stairs. They took our picture with our releases and everything. It was a production, like TV production.
Oh, you're going to be on a billboard. I know it.
There was tons of they had GoPros connected all over the thing. They had a camera guy who, for some reason, had to wear like compression shirts and like a Under Armour wrist thing. I don't know.
Maybe he has a health problem.
Whatever. But it was I was on a real TV location set. It was our first one for this. So they would film them getting in. They would do the coaster. They would film them coming in. They would film them getting out. They would film them getting back in. So the first coaster, Eli and Molly rode 4 times. That's how many times they filmed each one of these.
Nice.
Go to the next one, the Thunderbird. Molly says, no way, not into it, not going to do it. That's the one that flips around, upside down and
Corkscrew
stuff.
style. Count me in.
Right. No. She says, no.
What?
We found a guy whose wife couldn't do it because she was too fucking fat to get in the seat.
Uh-oh.
So, hey, Eli, why don't you go? This guy is.
What does that look like? When the woman's trying to sit down, are they trying to squeeze the thing over her?
I don't.
And then they're finally just like, I
can't do it.
What do you want me to say?
Right. So,
but the boy's there.
The boy's there. The husband's there. Goes with my 9-year-old. My 9-year-old is sitting behind from the host on the show, so you know that Cam is heading right back to him.
Loving little Eli.
Loving little Eli. They ride that one 4 times.
Wow.
Okay. They give us a lunch break. Eli says, I want to go ride the Legend because they're not filming on that one. Meanwhile, this kid has not stood in a line yet today.
That's incredible.
All right. He's a VIP. Just goes in.
Now, at this point, had the park opened?
No.
Okay, so you guys are still getting around, going into the front of the line just because...
Yeah, there is no line because they're filming.
Okay.
All the people that are there are being filmed. So we're like, okay, we got a 2-hour break. Go ahead and ride it. He spends maybe 20 minutes in a line. Rides the Legend by himself. Mom says no. I say no. We just watch him all the tiers of the line.
Yeah.
Make sure nobody sexually molests them.
A lot can happen in 20 minutes.
So then we have our lunch break. Then we go over to the Voyage. The Voyage is the the start, the steepest part of it,
Okay.
175 feet in the air.
Holy God.
Then about an 85-degree drop, just straight down.
Oh, my. Whew.
It's a wooden roller coaster. There are 3 places in
Awesome.
it. There's 3 places in it where there's 0 gravity. There's 2 places in it where you're at a 90-degree angle. It's his favorite one, but it's also the most difficult on your body.
Has it claimed the most lives?
No lives have ever been lost in any of these.
Oh, wow.
It was ranked the number one roller coaster 5 years in a row.
Number 1 non-murdering roller coaster.
So on this one, they do this and they do it 4 times. Molly's got to ride this thing 4 fucking times.
On the Legend?
On the Voyage.
Oh, the Voyage, okay.
And it takes a toll out on you. So meanwhile, I'm talking to Paula, who does the podcast, who does all their social media. She's the head of communications there. Talking to her, and I'm like, Paula, I said, they keep going. My wife's I know she's getting more burnt out here. When she comes off of here, if I get a dirty look, I'm spending the night with you and your husband on the farm.
Aw.
And she's like, well, we have an attic. So, no, but they were really great to us. Eli, 9 years old, going to be on TV. Unless it's a failed pilot, then we'll do it and we'll have Eli on the show.
Well, some of our failed pilots actually do make it to TV. So
Sure.
To me, either way, the entire Clayton clan, television stars.
Yeah, Molly for sure and Eli for sure. I was only in line for the first one, but it's a situation where we couldn't say no to it because it's a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Sure.
We have a 9-year-old who loves roller coasters, getting treated like a VIP. Why not? Right?
How many opportunities do you have like that, right?
Exactly.
Take advantage.
Ill and none. So, but I couldn't wait to get home and to say, hey, my family and I were involved in a pilot television show.
Now, I got to ask you, now that you're a big-time TV star, are you...
Different in any way?
Well, you look different. I would say there's a Plinko M sheen about your skin.
Thank you.
You're glowing.
Thank you.
I would also say, are you too big for this podcast now? I mean,
No.
because you've eclipsed what the show is about.
If anything, I think I have a better insight now of failed pilots and what it takes to make a pilot.
See, I always go to the seemingly negative part, and you're like, no, here's the silver lining. I know pilots now.
I feel like I have more insight now.
Everything you thought you knew, out the window, right?
Exactly.
This is fantastic.
Great experience. It was really neat, and we got free tickets to go back. We did not get to go. The shoot took so long. On the Voyage, the park was open.
Okay.
And this was really cool for a 9-year-old. They put up a sign that said, "This ride will be closed from 1 to 2 o'clock." For television production, and there was a line of people. And my 9-year-old son got to walk, and my wife got to walk right through that fucking line. And
did he walk like with a straight posture, his hands behind his back, smug face, middle finger?
I was hoping he would put the middle finger up like, fuck you guys, I'm going on this ride, and I'm going to ride it as many times as I fucking want to.
Oh, very good. Wow.
So it was cool, yeah.
What an adventure.
It definitely was an adventure.
What's the name of this show? Do you know?
We talked to the host about it, and right now they don't have a name. They had a couple names, but they didn't get through the legality process of whether somebody already had it or somebody had something like. So they're still working on that. But as soon as this comes out, if it comes up on the internet, I will definitely share with the fans.
That is fantastic.
Yes,
I'm
cool.
so excited for you. I'm so proud of you. They always say 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. How about 1 degree of Blake Clayton? How about that?
And another thing, you want to hear the rides I rode?
Yeah. Merry-go-round.
No. Oh, that's too high. I rode the carousel.
Sure, you love carousel.
I rode the turkey whirl, which is basically like the teacups. I rode it twice.
Turkey whirl.
Killed it. Well, it was in Thanksgiving land. It was in Thanksgiving land.
Of course, that makes sense.
I rode the Raging Rapids. I rode the Firecracker 3 times.
You maniac.
You probably say to yourself, Self,
what's a firecracker?
The Firecracker is a fully restored Calypso ride. There was only 3 of them made by this company. They found it, they restored it, and it's brand new this year. It was awesome.
Calypso?
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
Calypso ride. Basically, there's 3 pods. Or there's 4 pods in 3 sets, and it goes around, and then it goes. The floor goes around while those things go around.
Okay, it's like a tilt-a-whirl.
Yes, but yeah, in a way. And I had the first time I rode it with Eli. Second time I rode it by myself, and some little kid from Alabama whose mom didn't want to ride it. He was about 5 years old. His name was Jonathan. He rode it with me.
Nice. Big
Adorable.
ups to Jonathan.
Adorable kid.
Now, this is all very...
As white could be. Blonde hair, blue eyes.
Almost translucent?
Very much so.
Was he the other white meat?
I think so.
We're looking at Holiday World, and we're talking about what a great experience this is. I feel like you're dancing around perhaps a greater issue as it pertains to this show. You got 3, possibly 4 Al Pachinko machines in the world. We know that you and I both...
Thank you.
You're welcome. Both of us here, we've got 2 pachinko machines between us running double time, calculating frequent flyer points for all of our frequent flyers of the podcast. Now, we know that there's a third one, and there might be others, but to our knowledge, there was only 3 in existence.
Right,
Holiday World has the third one.
And I saw it again.
Okay.
And I was gonna go take a picture with it again, but we didn't have time. But yeah, I saw it. It's in pristine condition. It's
They're taking
amazing.
care of it.
Oh, they are.
I wish them no ill will towards it. I'm not planning some mass, Muppet style caper to take it away from Holiday World.
One thing I did notice though is the prizes that they were giving away this year, not as fancy as last year.
Is that right? Budget cuts, you think? The pachinko machine is a lot of upkeep.
Oh, no, I don't think it's budget cuts because I want a basketball, like a legitimate basketball for $2.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
they didn't make any money on that. So no, it's a wonderful place. If you ever go to Santa Claus, Indiana, you like not race cars, roller coasters. If you like the water parks, they also have one of the top-rated water coasters in the
Water coaster.
Oh yeah, I love that place.
If
it wasn't 5 hours away, we'd go more often.
If you are in the Santa Claus area, which I imagine most of our listeners are,
sure,
go to Holiday World, take your picture with the Al Pachinko machine, send it to us.
2 million frequent flyer.
For a cool 2 million frequent flyer.
2 mils.
Now, I got to say this, fan feedback.
I want to do fan feedback too, but I don't want to talk about myself all the time.
Oh, please, let's do it.
You took a trip to Chicago.
I did.
And you were interviewed by the one and only Adam Z
from
the Low Ball Podcast. I don't want to skip over that.
It's so weird that IBWIP is not around anymore because I usually feel like this would be IBWIP fair.
Sure.
But
sure,
we don't.
Sure.
What's that?
Sure.
Okay. But this is it doesn't exist anymore, so this is our only avenue to talk about it. But
you talked about Couch Pilots quite a bit. It was a focal point.
One that I was not. I'm always prepared to talk about Couch Pilots, but when I wasn't anticipating, I suppose. But yes, you have questions for me about my time with Adam Z, or would you like me to expound on it?
Go ahead and expound upon it. I
went to Adam Z's place and we recorded an episode of Low Blow.
How was it?
It was all right.
What was Low Blow Studio like?
It was pretty wild.
A lot of comic books and a lot of
it's weird.
Gay porn. And stuff?
First of all the gay porn. I'm not sure one man could measure it in its weight or quantity. But I will say that when you go to a big city, you can go to a Google map and then you do a 3D, right? Mm-hmm. And I could see Low Blow Studios on my 3D Google map. I could zoom in and I could say that's where I was.
Oh, that's cool.
Low Blow Studios is in a very cool, probably about 100-year-old brick apartment building. It's 4 stories tall. It's a walk up. He lives at the very top.
Whew.
So what do? We walked right up.
Great calves.
We calved out. We get up there, and the studio is just lined and filled to the mother-grabbing gills with pop culture, whether it's posters, signed action figures, Legos, video
DVDs.
games. What's that?
DVDs.
The gay porn DVDs, as you mentioned.
Right.
Absolutely. Just a really cool apartment with an awesome studio. And I brought him some beer, some local beer that he was not able to get up there. We drank some. We sat and we recorded an episode where he kind of drilled me, let's try this style, with some semi-serious questions. And then we waxed on about, the happenings of the day.
And comedy in general and stuff.
Sure.
Awesome.
So we had a lot of fun. It was really cool to visit one of our FCF network brethren and see where he lays his hat at the end of the day.
And that's Low Blow Podcast. It's episode 112 entitled The Bottle Cap Kid.
Yeah.
So definitely check it out. Here is the description of the episode.
Okay.
This week, our fearless hero Adam Z sits down with the Bottle Cap Kid himself, Jason, from the Couch Pilots Podcast, right here on the FCF network. So kid back and enjoy.
Yeah, kid back and enjoy. Why not?
It was a great episode. Thank you, Adam Z, for promoting FCF Network.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for promoting Couch Pilots. It was great. There was some insight that I didn't even know.
Oh boy, maybe it's an off mic kind of conversation.
No, it's fine. You handled it very well.
Oh, thank you.
There was a couple of questions I was like, really? And then your answers, I was like, okay.
But now I am curious what that was. But we're not going to dig into that.
We don't have time. We have fan feedback.
Let's dig into that instead. That's what I want.
I'm sorry, but I didn't want. I wanted to give the devil his due.
All right. And who's the devil in this scenario? Me or Adam Z?
You.
I'm a devil.
This is from our YouTube page.
What?
And our YouTube page.
Someone YouTubed us?
Yes. Season 7, episode 2, which was Turn Hooch completed, right?
Yeah.
And somebody left a message. The Freak Out song was La Freak by Chick, not Lips Incorporated.
Okay, fair enough.
That was from Motor at 87.
Oh, okay. That was my college roommate.
Really?
No, I don't know who that guy is.
All right.
That's funny. That's a recent comment.
It was
Freak Out.
Yeah, it was recently.
You know what? I am going to stand by and say that was lip sync. So
okay. Our good friend Dee Dee from Australia, loving all the fan feedback. I think she has surpassed a lot of people.
Oh, okay. I was say, be careful here.
There's quite a few people she's
You got a top tier of frequent flyers out there, and she is circling the absolute peak.
Right. She said, "Hey, for your love of Mason," she sent us a link to the 7 most memorable Mason Reese commercials of the 1970s.
How much shit was this kid promoting in the 70s?
I guess so.
Who would look at that face and say, you know what? I want that to be the face of my toilet brush,
right?
My toothpaste.
There's some Post cereal. And I said, ha, 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 we are going to check it out. Then close the book on Mason Reese.
Let's take this time to close the book on Mason
I'm sorry.
Reese forever.
Dee Dee says, that book will never be closed.
Ooh,
ha,
boy.
ha, ha. And I said, very true. I have another one. I'm sorry. There's so much. You don't mind, do you?
You know what? If this whole entire show was fan feedback...
I felt like I took too much time with my pilot.
Not at all. That was a very exciting thing. How many people can say they've done what you've done?
Sure. This is from Season 9, Episode 3, Here Comes Tobor.
Yeah.
And our good friend Dustin from Drunken Lullabies said, great show, guys. Made my rainy commute much more enjoyable. Interesting fact, I went to Graceland almost exactly 3 years ago. It was much smaller than I expected, which I'm sure we all know is not something that captains have ever heard a woman say. Heyo!
Because we have big penises, yes.
I even saw the aforementioned Jungle Room. And you know what?
Yeah.
Not a damn tiger was found. Orangutan? Nope. Black Panther? Nope. Certainly not the animal variety. I get that.
I get you.
But I digress. It almost warms my heart to hear you guys bust out ECW references all on your own. Keep up the good work, fellas. And that was the Dudley Boys.
Oh, the Dudley Boys. Yeah.
And I said, thanks for listening, brother, as always.
Yeah, great fan feedback. We love Dustin from the Drunken Lullabies podcast. What a great member of the FCF network and a
I like when
flyer.
we can tickle his fancy once in a while.
Sure, we can.
I got one more fan feedback that it's I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet.
Now, you did mention, I believe, this one to me earlier.
Sure.
This is, last week we did the Pride of the X-Men, and there seems to be a pretty strong community of voice actors out there, and voice actor followers, perhaps, people who want to be the next generation of voice actors. And when we reached out to some of these people who were involved with the Pride of the X-Men, legions, I would say, of fans got to see some of the retweets from Pat Fraley, who is the voice of Pyro, and ultimately we got a lot of retweets and likes surrounding our message to him, which I think is where this post originated.
I'm wondering, and this is a lengthy conversation.
All right.
And I do have something to say at the end of it.
Okay.
But this is from Shira Schwartz.
All right, real name?
She studied at Penn State, if that helps you.
The sandwich shop?
Yep. A very attractive girl. And she says, do you need my help with pilot ideas? When will the podcast end? And I was like, we have a list of over 100 more pilots we can do, but we are always looking for requests.
When will this is someone requesting the end of the show.
Basically.
Okay.
I go, thanks for listening and checking us out. She goes, did you hear about the Little Mermaids Island and Steel Magnolias?
All right.
I said, I'm not sure, but Jason has the master list. I will ask him. If not, we will move your request to the top of the list, just like we always say we'll do.
Absolutely.
And then she says, you're welcome. So the podcast will probably be over in 2019? Question mark.
This is well, she's doing math, right? She's saying you got 100.
Sure.
What's one a week? 52 times 2, a little over 100.
Right.
2 more years worth of content.
So I said, never. Why is it so bad? Why is it so bad that you want it to be over as soon as possible? I do not. I thought that 100 podcasts more means it will be over.
Oh, there you go.
I may have listened a bit. That's very.
I may have listened a bit.
I may have listened a bit.
What the hell is this person talking about?
She says, bye now. I want you to continue for as long as you can. And I was like, my wife never says that.
Hurry up.
So I thought to myself, we need to dive into this a little bit deeper.
Really, this you had nothing going on where you could dig into this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shira has got my attention.
Yeah.
Thanks. We will go as long as we can. Also, Jason checked on both of your suggestions, and one fits the criteria. We will do one of them within the next month.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be nice.
Sure.
Did you know that Little Mermaid's Island has 2 episodes? I saw them both. Instantly, she don't listen. She don't listen to the show. IMDb says 1, but we'll investigate. She says, all right, please let me know if I'm right. I said, yes, it had 2 episodes, so we would not be able to do it based on the rules of the show. Here we go. What are the rules of the show? Three's Company had more than 1 pilot. I said, so you haven't listened to the show. 1 episode, available online and free. She goes, are you mad? I thought I listened to part of it. I want to listen to it. Please be happy. I just discovered the show yesterday.
Please be happy. Are you talking to a mentally retarded woman
I don't
or
know.
a foreign person trying to get you to respond as much as possible?
Exactly. I said, no worries. Hope you checked it out.
Please be happy.
Hope you check out the show and enjoy. So she says, so you are doing Steel Magnolias and not Three's Company?
Please be happy.
I am a prince. Please put $12,000. I said, we will do Steel Magnolias as soon as possible. We record 2 shows. We record 2 weeks ahead of time, and so we'll have to get it worked out. All right. Free Spirit had more than 1 pilot too. And I said, if a show goes to series, we don't do it. Only do failed pilots.
What don't you get?
Her last response was, oh. So, spammer, whatever, spammer, jammer, rammer, hammer.
Rammer hammer.
Listen, we love fan feedback. That's
Love
one of,
it.
That's one of the essentials of our show.
It's a hallmark.
But if you haven't listened to the show before, don't go so deep into a conversation. Say, hey, I just found your podcast. I'm going to listen to it a couple of times, and then I'll get back to you.
Let's put your cards on the table. And let me say this to you. You know what I'm looking at right now? I'm looking at a link to the complete Steel Magnolias pilot.
Okay.
We can do it.
We can do it.
I'm not doing it.
We're not doing it?
Unless this person says something that is not terrifying or it seems like it's almost a robot.
It does seem almost.
So please be happy and know that we will not do this until you come back to us and prove that you're a real person.
We want to see a picture of you listening to Couch Pilots.
Yeah. That's
Then we'll be happy.
Ask, is it?
Then we'll do Steel Magnolias the next week. How's that?
It's not too much to ask,
No.
right?
It's too much to expect,
Right.
but it's not too much to ask.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captains have turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
And the sad thing is her profile picture is really pretty, so I know it's not her.
Well, sometimes pretty girls are dumb. They don't have to be smart, right?
Right, they use their breasts and their vagina to get through life.
I would like to use her breast and vagina to get through my life. I don't know. Couch Pilots, right? It's the show where 2 guys talk for an hour about nothing and then talk about a pilot for 5 minutes.
Right, and we have criteria that obviously I've already went through.
Well, today we discussed the pilot episode of The Adventures of Superboy from the year of our Lord 1961. Tell you right now, great year.
60s, free love, Grateful Dead,
The Decade of Decadent.
Rolling Stones, LSD, acid, weed, hippies, Hell's Angels.
1961, right?
Right.
1962.
Woodstock.
1963.
Oh, was it?
No, that was in 1969. I'm just counting all the years that are in the 60s.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go back in time, shall we? Let's go back in time to 1961. Personally, I wasn't alive. I was negative 20.
So,
right.
yeah, I was negative
14.
14. I was negative 14.
So we're going back to a time where we weren't alive.
How do we do that? How do we do that?
By internet research. I want to put my mind in a year that it was never in to begin with. I was up, like we've talked about before. I was up in heaven with God.
Sure.
Right? Waiting to be thrown down the baby chute into my mama's womb.
Sure. Woomba. Listen.
Today is, we're recording this on Amazon's Prime Day, where you can buy a Woomba, I think, half off right now.
Nice. High five that shit. What I would like the listeners to do, and I'm starting to meditate. I'm starting to try meditation.
Do you have a mantra?
Not yet. It comes to you. You don't come to it.
Fair enough.
And so what I want everybody to do, all the pouch pilots, that's an Aussie reference.
Where the hell are you on that one, Dee Dee? Come on. Start a podcast called
Pouch Pilots.
And it's just all marsupials.
I want everybody to close their eyes and try to, as Jason is reading this information,
that's right.
Try to absorb yourself and find yourself. I don't care if you're driving or not. Close your eyes and listen to this.
Astral projection. Close your eyes. Put your mind somewhere else. 1961. U.S. Cuban exiles and CIA mount unsuccessful attempt to overthrow Castro, known as the Bay of Pigs.
Why couldn't... The United States should have been able to fucking go in there in one day and take that shit over.
That's right.
That's bullshit. Bay of Pigs, my ass. Pork,
right?
The other white meat. Mm-hmm. There's no reason that little itty island, we couldn't just take it over in one fucking day.
Well, how big is Vietnam? And we lost there, right?
Well, there was a beach party there.
Is that all that was? Hold on.
Beach party, Vietnam.
My understanding is that Vietnam was a war, but you're telling me it was just a party?
It was a beach party.
What about like Forrest Gump and Full Metal Jacket? Those are movies about. Was that all fiction?
It was about a beach party.
I'll be damned.
Wet socks. Hello, Asian Orange.
Hello, Agent Orange. I had no idea. I thought it was a war this whole time.
No, but we should have got Castro.
My mistake. Then you're absolutely right. Why?
Fuck Fidel Castro,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Fuck that guy. I hope he hears this shit.
Shove a cigar in your fucking asshole.
Is he alive?
I think he just died recently.
Okay, well, R.I.P.
That's why. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, there'd be fucking people at my house the next day after this. Hello, sir. You say fuck Fidel Castro?
I did on my podcast, yes. Oh, shit. JFK was sworn in by Chief Justice Earl Warren as the 35th president of these United States during January of the year of our Lord 1961. Kennedy, the youngest person to be elected at the time, was also the first Catholic president.
What would have happened to this country if JFK could have finished out his full term?
Why didn't he finish it?
We got shot in the head. JFK blown away. What else do I have to say?
Is that an Eazy-E reference?
Yeah. Billy Joel, Eazy-E. No, but seriously, I mean, would he be considered such an amazing president if he had made it through, or would he have been the first Bill Clinton?
This is what I think.
Because he was tapping that ass.
That's exactly where I was going. Is that there's more lore about Camelot. Remember they called it Camelot. Sure. As much as you would say is not as much, but like in the same vein as the Clinton administration, where it's just like Clinton's like, I gotta be fucking pussy all the time. Right. And that's what JFK was doing. The mythology, the urban legends around his ass slaying is unparalleled. Right. So I think if he were to stay in office, he probably would have lowered the age of consent, probably made abortions legal earlier than Roe versus Wade.
And got
probably eased up on the sexual harassment laws a little bit.
Eased up, yeah.
Made contraception free to everybody.
Marilyn Monroe probably would have had a baby.
And what's her name?
Marilyn Monroe.
Marilyn Monroe.
Hey. My name is Marilyn Monroe. I fuck JFK like a motherfucker.
There's your demographic. Yeah, that's what I think. I think it would have been more of a swinging European, sexy kind of country if he would have stayed in office.
It would have been like the Playboy Mansion.
Oh, my God.
In my opinion.
Can you imagine 300 million people in the Playboy Mansion? That's what this country would turn into.
Thanks a lot, Oswald, you asshole.
East German authorities closed the border between East and West Berlin, and the construction of the Berlin Wall begins.
I wonder how long it took to make that. Couple years?
I don't know.
Did you think people would like push down like whatever they built that day? Like,
so like there's a tractor putting some stuff up, and then someone just runs over and pushes it and
a
runs
bunch
away?
of them like in the middle of the night, they just push it all over.
So
that's what's going to happen to Trump.
Do you think this wall was made to the chagrin of everybody? Or do you think some people are like, yeah, put that fucking wall up?
Put that fucker up. I'm tired of looking at those West fucking German people. Oh, yeah? I'm tired of looking at your fucking East German ass.
This is 1961 when we deported so many people from the Long Island and Jersey area over to Germany, right? I don't want to look at your fucking face no more.
Fucking you in your face. I don't really like it anymore.
Well, you wicked retarded. Put up the wall already.
Put it up.
I am in 1961.
The only person that's going to bring this wall down is David fucking Hasselhoff.
And he ain't even popular yet. Wait till he's got on his electric jacket. I'm in 1961, right?
I am too.
I mean, again, I wasn't there. I can only imagine what I'm feeling is what I would have felt if I was there.
Listeners, open your eyes.
Oh, pooh. Boy, astral projection sucks your spirit right back in. Why did we choose to watch The Adventures of Superboy?
I'm going to say these 3 simple criteria really slow.
All right.
Because it seems to be an issue for people who have never listened to the show, people who are related to people on the show,
people who say they've heard it but never have heard it,
to the people over here, to the people over there, to the people from everywhere listening to the show, paying top dollar because we're on the stage when a motherfucking rage. What up?
How many Eazy-E references are we going to cram into this episode?
As many as possible. All right, 3 criteria. A, it had to be a failed pilot, never went to series. Whether it aired or not is irrelevant. It did not go to series. Number 2, we had to be able to find it. We had to search the interweb, found a link that we could manage, and we watched it. 3, we're not paying for it. It's got to be free. That's simple, folks. Why do people keep screwing it up?
Uno, dos, tres.
Cuatro.
Quat your mouth, buddy, and tell me where you're going to watch this entire episode. And I'll tell you right now, subscribe to Couch Pilots in iTunes or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then click on one of our classically blue links in the show notes, or go to YouTube. That's what you're going to do, Tube.
Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff, please.
I think it was, that's what you do, Tube.
That's
is
what you
he
do,
said.
too. Call back.
If you heard last week, you can shame my brother at hashtag, brother, why you say that?
But, brother, why you be tripping?
Why you be saying that, brother? Summary of that pilot. Jimmy, Clark Kent and Lana Lang's friend, is ashamed that his father works as a doorman at the Smallville theater. His opinion changes when Superboy is able to thwart a robbery with Jimmy's father's help.
Could you say the first sentence again?
Jimmy, Clark Kent and Lana Lang's friend, is ashamed that his father works as a doorman at the Smallville theater.
Good summary.
But this summary
It's Lana, but that's okay.
What did I say, Lana?
Yeah, it's Lana.
I was going to say that this, while it is a good summary, it is heavily dependent on the use of commas.
There's a lot of commas, and to me,
Save your commas for your llama.
run-on sentences don't make you sound cool. All right, proper punctuation prevents a piss poor performance.
That's right. I totally agree with that. But I never know what's gonna flip your switch.
Sometimes I just want to reach over and give you a hug.
You do? Yeah. Like out of anger? I almost feel like it's an anger. Then.
No.
Okay.
I'm tickled.
Well, you know what makes me angry is people who violate the rule for interesting facts. There it is again. I don't know if it's the alcohol coursing through your system or
That was a very good imitation.
Of what?
What's her name? Comedian.
What, Maria Bamford?
Yeah.
Is that Maria Bamford?
It was Maria all up on that bitch. It was even your facial expression.
Yeah.
It was great.
I'm the Jim Carrey of my time, but interesting.
I can't go on. I got to push
All right,
stop.
just relax for a second. Interesting facts. They say this is what happens. You want to start a podcast, so you go up to the podcast headquarters and you say, "I would like to start one." They say, "That's fine.
Give me
Please
the name of your segments.
Give me the name of all your segments." Absolutely. And what do we say? We're gonna have one with a bunch of facts in it. That's fine. Do whatever the fuck you want. Name your segment.
Do it right now. And we're like, interesting facts, man. Be cool.
We were held virtually, not literally, virtually at gunpoint.
Exactly. Conrad rule. Conrad rule is in effect. Everyone, please stand for the Conrad rule.
It's a new rule that we are standing for, but we won't stand for people who comment on these facts.
Don't stand. Don't stand. Don't stand so close to facts.
That's right. Don't stand too close because the chances are you'll be tempted to comment on them, at which point you will be admonished by myself or Blake Clayton. I don't know what is going on with you. I am delighted that you're so giddy. Don't comment on the facts. These are things that we found out that you don't know, and you will never know if you don't shut up and listen. Are we firing on all cylinders? Oh, he's crying. Oh, it's turned to tears.
No, it's fun.
Star John Rockwell was dumbfounded when he received his Superman costume, which was gray and brown. He was told that since the pilot was to be filmed in black and white, gray and brown costume would read better on screen than the traditional red and blue Superman outfit. For people who don't know all the names, like Jimmy, which is a common name, Clark Kent, or Lana Lang, these are characters from DC's own Superman universe. We are diving into a Superboy Superman adventure.
Right, it's Superman when he was a boy.
Yeah, it makes sense, right? Perfect sense.
In black and white. So what you said about the costume makes complete sense.
Thank you.
That's why we wear gray and brown.
That's why we do it. It's cheaper and no one will ever see us, thank God. Although only the pilot was made, 12 additional episodes were written, the screenplays for which are included in the book Superboy and Super Pup, The Lost Pilots. Now, we watched Super Pup.
Yes, we did. That was one where they had, they were in like
almost
costumes, like paper mache helmets.
Yeah, it's almost like they were mascots, they look like, right?
Yeah. Mr. Met.
This pilot is an adaptation of the story The Saddest Boy in Smallville, which was published in issue 88 of the Superboy comics, cover date April 1961. The story was written by Leo Dorfman and illustrated by George Papp. Fact.
Okay. I can accept it.
This pilot was filmed after the death of George Reeves, who was the original Superman in the television series, who had allegedly agreed to do another season of The Adventures of Superman starting in 1952.
And we had mentioned this in interesting facts of Super Pup, that this is one of the reasons why they made it, is that they were trying to continue the success of Superman after his death.
Trying to draft off that, keep that Superman legacy going.
NASCAR reference. Way to go.
Thank you very much. Let's see here. It featured the first non-comic portrayals ever of Superboy and Lana Lang. Lana Lang. Whoops. I'm going to put another N in there. And stands as a forerunner of later series Superboy, which lasted 4 seasons, and Smallville, which lasted 10 seasons.
I can't believe it lasted that long.
Did you watch any of that?
No.
I don't watch that shit. The only standalone releases so far for the Adventures of Superboy have been from specialty distributors such as Video Rarities, which released it on VHS along with The Adventures of Super Pup, and screen test footage as Superboy and Super Pup, like we mentioned before, The Lost Pilots.
That'd be interesting to watch those, the extra screen footage.
Yeah, I would be curious to see what that would generate. Yeah. This pilot episode has been included in the 62-disc DVD box set of Smallville, the complete series, released by Warner Home Video in November of 2011, along with additional bonus features not included in the individual seasons of Smallville.
Do you think Dustin has the complete set of Smallville DVD on DVD?
I believe that Dustin has every single DVD ever. Actually, it's funny because he's doing Drunken Lullabies, right? And then he's got Drunk at the Movies. And the other day he was sending me pictures of him at the video store, like purchasing, literally months of content worth of Drunk at the Movies.
Dude, Freckles has got to make major bank.
Yeah.
for him to buy all those videos.
I'm just saying that I think that's a testament to how many DVDs this man owns. For an in-depth interview with the adventures of Superboy star Johnny Rockwell, head over to comicbookmovie.com or click on the link in our show notes, which I will
Please pass that along.
But it's too much to read here. But Johnny Rockwell, who is, for all intents and purposes, dead, he had once commented heavily on this. I think he's dead. I don't know if he's dead. He's probably very old.
Well, I don't think he was a Superboy when it was made. He looked like he was 20, 22.
Super 20.
Super half adult.
Twitter responses.
Everybody dead. Ain't no Twitter responses.
They're all dead. He's absolutely right. New low blow promo.
In a world where we hate everything except for the things we love, there's the Low Blow Podcast. So join us every week as me, Adam Z.
Me, Dave Rowan.
And Chris and Naomi.
She might be naked.
I'm naked.
Fill your ear holes with unbiased reviews of movies, TV shows, comic books, anything Florida does, and basically the rest of the internet, right here in the FCF network. So please check out all your favorite downloading podcasting apps for us, the Low Blow Podcast. Appropriately inappropriate.
Ow!
Oh.
Love Low Blow Podcast. Love Adam Z. Love Dave Rowan.
Love.
I don't know her. I can't love somebody I don't know.
You know, I've never met Jesus Christ.
Superstar.
I love him, right?
Okay.
Christine Naomi Campbell Ladina. I love her. I've never met her.
Bunky Cole Medina. Here's what I say. You can't love somebody you don't know.
Well, maybe you should spend some time listening to the Low Blow Podcast.
I listen to it all the time. I listen to every episode except the ones that are like antique ones because I won't know anything.
Antique. I'm saying, how can you not know this girl if you've been listening to the episode?
Adam doesn't give her a chance to talk.
Well, if you want to hear Adam talk and me talk as well, go ahead and listen about a month ago where I was featured on an episode of the Low Blow Podcast. Well, episode 112, thank you. And check it out. Great show.
It's a great show. I
Great
love
personalities
it.
coming together.
I would love to be able to go up there and do a show with Dave and Adam. And
you have to be invited first.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
yeah,
whatever. He said...
well, it's because I'm not as funny as you are.
Yeah, few people are. Let's break down the show notes, all right?
Do it.
Good Lord.
Good lordy, roady, you must be up that water bottle.
What is that?
Eminem.
I've been liking some of these older shows because, like, if someone harkens back, it's like there's a period piece now, it's almost cliched that you have like a big announcer announcing the show.
Sure.
But that's exactly what happened here. It's the adventures
Of
of Superboy. And that's what happened. That took place on this show from 1961.
Yeah, and there's a quick explanation of like the history of Superman. Very like 30 seconds of like, hey,
He's the boy of steel. He was the last son of Krypton, sent to Earth in a spaceship, raised by Martha and blah, blah, Kent, and he's the champion of the oppressed. Right?
blah blah blah, yakety schmackety.
Blah, blah, blah.
So he goes for, they show a picture of him as a baby, then they show him in high school, and he's sitting next to Lana. Ooh, Lana.
Ooh, Lana. They're at school, yeah, Smallville, the famed home and origin of Earthbound Superman, right?
Right, they show him like the whole, like before they goes into the classroom, there's him like flying through, which is basically just sitting on a...
No, it was real flying. You got up in the front of the class, you got Donna. She's giving a speech about her father's occupation. And then Jimmy in the class, he steps up. And he's like, my father's the doorman at the theater, okay? And then he's ashamed.
Yeah, he's all upset about it. And so he leaves, and Clark and Lana go down the street and want to talk to him.
You know what I notice here? They're walking hand in hand.
Yes.
So they're sweethearts.
They're sweethearts of the rodeo. And this was one of those things, like there's a few times in this where it feels very educational, very like core moral values kind of things.
Like one of those old videos that you'd watch in school.
Right. And so they're talking about, you have to consider the man, not the job. It's basically what they're telling.
Don't be like Mr. Bungle, right?
Mr. Bungalow?
You ever see those Mr. Bungle, where Mr. Bungle does all the wrong things? They're very wholesome videos where they show the kids doing the right thing, listening to their mom, rinsing their
Rinsing
dishes.
and repeating?
Rinsing and repeat, that's right. But yeah, you're right. They're kind of squeaky clean. They're talking to Jimmy, and they're saying, you know what, Jimmy, we all have humble backgrounds, all right?
Yeah, if your dad is important to you, he's important.
That's right.
He's like, and then you find out that like Jimmy's dad raised him by himself. You don't figure out what happened to his mom, if she died or something.
I'm sure she died, but you just don't talk about that kind of
Polio,
thing.
probably. So then they walk, Jimmy goes across the street to see his dad, and then cut to, Clark.
They walk out of frame, right?
And then there's 3 bad guys that are sitting in a car, and they're planning to rob the movie house in which Jimmy's dad works at.
Mm-hmm.
Next scene is Jimmy and his dad are in their apartment.
Yep.
And Jimmy's dad's doodling or something at a drafting table. He's like, Jimmy, what's wrong? Did you have a bad? Did you fail a test today?
You know I don't fail my test, Dad.
Right, exactly. He's like, well, then what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? He asked him 4 times.
Yeah, he does.
And he's like, I had to get up in my class and to give a speech about my dad. And
I didn't know what to say.
yeah, you're just a fucking loser that works at a movie theater.
And his dad here, I mean,
very good.
I was going to say, if I think about someone who's a doorman today, first of all, rarely is it a man in his 40s.
Sure.
And if it is, that guy's probably got a severe retardation. Perhaps. But this man, in this time, speaks very intelligently and very logically to his son about what he does for a living and that he's proud of him, or of himself, and what he hopes for his boy in the future.
Sure. He's like, when we get you off to college and you graduate and you go to the profession of your choice, then I will be able to look back and say I was a successful father.
Yep, that's absolutely right.
You know
And Jimmy
what?
feels better.
I got a little teary-eyed. It was, my dad didn't do that.
Ooh, boy.
Boy.
Jimmy does feel better, though, after talking to his dad. I think he feels a little bit better.
And then he says, "Hey, Jimmy, come over here and look at this picture I've been drawing.
Yeah.
It's a white piece of paper. You can't see anything on it.
The black and white does the photo no justice.
I think the film has been burned out, like in the center of it, from being played at movie houses, and so you can't see it's just a white glow.
Look at you. That's some knowledge right there. Dropping it, bro.
Dropping it like it's hot.
Now we're at the gangsters that we saw before. It's like we're at their headquarters, and they're talking to this guy who's going to be a scapegoat. He says, "You got to keep." We know Superboy. He fights villainy, and that's what we are. So you have to keep him busy, and we're going to get a bunch of cash, and you're going to spend a few months in jail while we get away with this, and then you're going to get cut in on this money.
Right, and they also referenced the fact that they had two of the brothers had plastic surgery.
That was a weird thing
for the
right?
early 1960s.
I thought for the time that was bizarre, and then maybe I missed it, but I'm not sure how that plays in overall.
Oh,
wait.
Yeah, it does quite a bit. We'll get there.
Okay, I think I do get it now.
Yeah, but they're talking about, hey, for $50,000, it's worth spending 3 months in jail. I was like, I don't think so. My asshole is worth more than $50,000.
Well, it turns out his asshole is not a factor at all, and they were planning on stealing $200,000 worth of diamonds from the theater. So the theater is having a film. I think it's called like Raja's Ransom. And as part of the appeal and the spectacle of the film is that you get to come by and see the jewels. Yeah,
right. Well, and this is what I thought was interesting is how come that guy's only getting 50 G's if they're planning to steal $200,000 worth of diamonds?
Legal fees.
Good answer.
I don't know. Maybe after taxes.
And the guy that's going to be taking on and keeping Superboy busy is Shifty. His name is Shifty.
And then they take Shifty to the desert and they put him in a shack and they just leave him there.
This is just like Super Pup. Every car scene,
the stock scene,
is all out in the desert.
Yeah,
just out of the middle of nowhere.
I was like, where the hell is Smallville in the desert? And then so they go there, and then a vehicle approaches the very same shack that the gangster in, and he gets out a rifle and he shoots the. I don't. Did they call the police out there?
No.
Why did the cops go there?
Because the robbers knew that every day at 3:00, Chief Parker would go by there. That's why they knew it. So
I missed that.
Every day at 3:00, Chief Parker was going to go by. So Shifty's up there. 3:00 comes.
He shoots the chief's tire. He pulls over. The chief knows he's been shot in the car, so he gets out and he takes cover and he sees where it's coming from. And then he calls. He's calling directly to Superboy. Right? He's using his radio to call directly to Superboy.
He's using a walkie-talkie, ham radio, as some would say, and getting a hold of Superboy. So, cut scene. Clark is with Lana, and they're in the living room, and they're doing math problems.
They're doing their studies like good kids.
And so, as Chief Parker is calling for Superboy, the light, just the regular lamp, is flickering.
Yep.
And so Clark's like, oh, I got to go.
So whenever that happens, he knows that he's being
Right.
called upon.
And so even his mom helps him lie. She's like, well, why do you want to get up and stop doing your math problems? He's like, I just don't want to do them right now. And then
The mom knows what's up.
the mom knows what's up. She goes, Lana, don't you worry about it. You come in and make dessert with me.
So he blows off Lana, sorry. And by the way, she's got a killer ass.
Oh, yeah.
I think.
Smoking hot body.
And she and responds to the chief, and then he immediately springs into action, right?
Yeah, he disappears into the cave or the basement of the house because when he gets dressed into his Superboy costume, he pushes a styrofoam rock out of the way, and it's all dark. But it was supposed to be the middle of the day, and that kind of confused me a little bit. And then he jumps off the screen and goes into the air.
This is the first of several times in this show.
Yeah, he flies a lot and jumps into frame a lot.
Well, whenever he takes off, it'll do a cut to a close up of an animal. Did you notice this? There are at least 3 occasions where as soon as Superboy flies into the air, as he's jumping up, it'll do a quick cut shot to a woodland creature almost acting surprised.
Oh, I missed that.
It is very odd. What a bizarre choice.
Another odd thing about when he flies is it's very loud. The whole thing, I'm like, listen, you're not sneaking up on anybody if you're sounding like a fucking sonic boom.
Sonic boom! He arrives and he talks with the chief. They're being pinned down by the guy with the rifle. And then back at the theater, the guy's name is Gunner, I believe.
Yeah, one of the Gunner brothers.
He says, hey, why don't you take this sleeping grenade and knock out the 2 cops or the 2 guards guarding the diamonds. And then he does exactly that, and he steals the diamonds, right?
Yeah, and then Jimmy's dad comes out as they're fleeing the scene, and he walks up to where the gas is, and he passes out.
He just walks right in. He's like, I'll take a nap right now. Superboy then attacks the gunman in the shack, and he does the classic bending of the rifle to see how strong he is.
Shifty is shooting him over and over and over again. It's just bouncing off his chest.
And he knows he's not going to do it. He's there as a distraction.
Sure. And then he just bends that rifle in half. As you said, I'm sorry I repeated you.
No, that's fine. Then he hands Shifty over to the chief, and they arrest him. And then Chief is then radioed about the heist, and then Superboy's like, I'm going to go over there now and see what's going on.
I got this. I'll take care of it. And so, they show Superboy, flies into, and he's looking around, and then it cuts to the 2 robbers, and they switch cars. So people won't be on the tail. Yeah,
he sees the car that's abandoned. He's like, well, for me, I'm just a dumb guy with all the muscles in the world. I can't figure out what's going on. They abandoned the car. I'm at a dead end.
Yeah. And so Jimmy's dad remembers the license plate. Superboy somehow finds it, and Jimmy's dad was talking to the movie promoter, the owner of the theater. He's like, well, at least these diamonds are insured. And the guy's like, I don't fucking care if they're insured. We got opening night tonight. This is going to be their biggest night ever.
Yep. Clark gets back, and he gives the theater folk an update, and he says it takes Jimmy's dad to the police station to look over some mugshots. It's weird because it shows them walking to the cop car, and then Superboy just catches a ride in the cop car.
Right. One thing I also don't understand, he's like, I can't use my supervision doesn't work unless I know what the robbers look like.
What does that mean?
He couldn't use his supervision to see where they were in the town.
So he can see great distances?
Yeah, he has supervision, but he can't use it if he doesn't know what the robbers look like.
Okay.
That doesn't make any sense. That's dumb.
Yeah.
It's we know that Superman has these powers, and we know that he would probably use it at this time.
What good are any of these powers?
But we can't use it because then the show would be over.
Well, at the station, they look through some photos, and it's not much help. And then Jimmy's dad's like, I saw the guys. Let me draw them.
Yeah, Jimmy's like, my dad is a great drawer.
He's like, hey, remember that scene earlier where I drew that thing you couldn't see? Well, I'll draw something now you can see.
Right.
And then while he's doing that, he's like, hey, Jimmy, why don't you go get some coal? Because we live in a time where people have coal handy.
Yeah, they have coal furnaces. And this is where the science class takes effect.
Yep.
And very slowly and very articulately, Clark Kent describes to Jimmy how a piece of coal can become a diamond.
Under pressure and heat.
Under pressure.
When he does it a couple times. This show is built on the back of his songs. When he crushes several pieces of coal, and you see the same footage each time. And Jimmy's eyes.
Oh,
Jimmy cannot believe
Jimmy
what he
loses his fucking. I wrote out here. Jimmy is fucking amazed.
Jimmy earlier saw a man fly You remember the appeal of the 1970s Christopher Reeves?
Right.
You will believe a man can fly. That's what he couldn't believe. He saw a man fly. He's like, fuck that. This guy's turning things into diamonds.
Right. He has seen Clark jump off screen and fly away.
Yeah.
But when it comes to making coal into diamonds,
And this is all happening at the police station. And there, Clark he's kind of putting together the whole plan, which is, I don't feel like there's enough there to put it together, but he fairly easily does.
oh, this chief of police is a fucking idiot because this 12-year-old boy, who's on steroids, obviously, because
Right.
he's fucking built like a brick shithouse
Yep.
in this outfit, he's figuring it all out without the chief's help at all. And so Clark had said, well, can we do a lie detector test? He's like, he won't say yes to that.
Yeah.
So Clark's like, well, I can use my supersonic hearing and listen to his heartbeat.
Yeah.
So bring him in. We'll ask him some questions.
Yeah, they
See,
do bring
again,
him in.
here's a power that this time he could actually use as
Yeah.
opposed to the vision.
And he can tell that when they're asked him certain questions that his heart starts beating heavily. And then he can tell when the guy doesn't answer and his heartbeat that he is keeping something from them or lying. And I don't know how it really helps him. I guess it does. I don't know.
His heart speeds up when he...
So what?
Yeah.
So he's involved. How does that help him at all?
Right.
And something that I thought was funny too is while Jimmy's dad is drawing the picture, the chief says he's make sure the drawing is accurate as possible. He's like, what the fuck do you think I'm doing?
Right. I'm going to draw a picture that's not quite accurate.
I'm going to give him a carrot nose. What a stupid piece
Hey,
of
this
dialogue.
this guy's not cross-eyed, but I had a little problem with the eraser.
Then they post drawings everywhere, all over the city, because they think it's pretty accurate. They say, let's post them, and we're going to put the address for some reason.
Of course it's pretty accurate. They asked for it to be accurate. Yeah, so here's what they're doing. They're going to use Fred, which is Jimmy's dad. We're going to use him as a decoy. So they put it in the paper, and they post a different name, but give him the address of where Fred
They're
lives.
going to use him as bait.
They're going to use him as the old bait and switch.
And they know he's not out of nowhere. He's like, oh, you want to be the bait? He's like, I'll be the bait.
Yeah. He's like, I got nothing better to do. The show's canceled for the night.
And it works, too.
Yeah, and the robbers are like, they see it in the paper, like, oh, we're going to go fucking kill this guy because he knows what we look like, and we've had our plastic surgery.
And Superboy is all up in this business.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
He knows about this. So the next day when this all posted, he's sitting in school, but apparently right across the street is a theater. So he's using his X-ray vision to keep looking over there to see.
Looking through the brick
Yeah.
to across the street, which is just, the theater is right across the street.
Conveniently.
Conveniently.
And
He's sitting next to Lana.
He's monitoring to say if any of these gangsters show up,
Right.
I'm going to find a reason to take a piss or something, and I'm going to get out of class. Go help him out.
And Lana gets really angry with Clark quite a few times, like he just disappears and just doesn't have to try or anything. Clark sees the robbers, finishes his test real quick, and then
I tell you
leaves.
what, I'd be using my X-ray vision on Lana's ass.
Oh,
I tell you
yeah.
what.
And her perkies were boobies, too.
Her perkies were boobies, for sure, my friend. Clark, he wraps up his test early and when he sees the trouble approaching at the theater. Jimmy's dad is called out of his apartment. They said, we got your boys injured. He's like, I'll leave right away. He's got to know what this is.
Right, yeah. It's the robbers have called up to his house and said, hey, we're from the emergency room. Your son's been in an accident, but he's not seriously hurt. But, he gullible. He just takes off out of there. So then fucking Clark Kent's like, oh, shit, this didn't go down the way I wanted it to.
Yep.
Now,
The gangsters got him in the car. They're driving out to the desert somewhere.
yep, exactly. Very quickly out of town. So then what happens is they have drugged Fred or
Knocked him out or something, somehow.
They put him in the middle of the desert on this road, and they're backing the car up, and they're like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to make it look like a hit and run. It won't get associated with the diamond heist at all, and we'll get the fuck out of here, right?
Or I'm in the middle of the desert. I have a gun in my hand. I very simply put one bullet in your brain and bury your stupid fucking body in the desert. The end. My car's not totaled.
Right, exactly.
This is so ridiculous.
So they back up and they go full speed, and Superboy comes down from the sky,
Yep.
stands in front of Fred, and for a long period of time is standing there. And one of the guys is like, just fucking ram into him. We'll kill Superboy and this guy at the same time.
No, you won't.
No, you didn't, because that's not what happened.
It crinkles the car, effectively totaling their vehicle. And those guys probably should be dead because they're probably going full speed and they run into...
There was no airbags back then.
Yeah, you're running into an immovable object like Superboy. You're going to live through that.
Right. Cut to next scene. The Chief's like, you know what? You got Jimmy. Your dad helped.
Yeah.
You know what? They're so happy that you helped find the diamonds that they are going to give you a scholarship to any college you want in the country.
Nice, right?
That solves the problem of before where, his dad was wanting him to go to college.
And he's like, hey, we're going to give you a job at this thing in Metropolis, which is the city where Superman ultimately ends up living and
he's like, nah.
protecting. And he's like, you know what? I like it right here.
I like it in Smallville.
Yeah. And it ends with Jimmy back in front of his classroom speaking very proudly about his father.
Isn't it very obvious that Superboy looks exactly like Clark Kent?
It is extremely obvious.
And yes, they're standing right next to each other practically.
And for me, one of many things that could be considered turbulence.
Ow.
Please remain seated as we are now crossing a zone of turbulence.
One, and then after one, done. Why didn't it work?
Oy vey. To be honest with you, if you think about the time period, I'm thinking of Andy Griffith. I'm thinking of Dennis the Menace. I'm thinking of, these kind of black and white TV shows at the time. This was a wholesome show.
Yeah.
There was the whole dad thing. Your dad's great no matter what he does for a living. There's the whole educational thing about the heartbeat in the lie detector and the coal. It's the whole scene with the the whole thing with the storyline with the robbers. It's pretty realistic. It's not too far fetched. It's not. They're not villains. They're just robbers.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they were worried about the whole original Superman show going down.
Perhaps. Yeah. It had a weird stink on it after the star just kind of
stinky leg.
Yeah.
Give me that stinky leg.
That is where that came from. Is the original Superman show. It's tough for me to think why this wouldn't work as well. You have an existing property like Superman that was wildly successful. The star is dead, and why wouldn't something take off?
Yeah,
This is
a tweener kind of show, right?
The Super Pop. It was kind of fun. It was silly. It was for little kids. It was fun. Why didn't that work? I don't know. Superboy is kind of the same thing. Maybe the demographic's a little higher in age because you're dealing with real people and you're dealing with teenagers.
High schooly stuff.
Sure. But I wouldn't say I don't think high school.
I can't wait till high schoolers talk about, like Clark Kent talks about teen pregnancy.
Yeah.
Or drugs.
It's great for Superman because if he gets to go pregnant, all he has to do is go back in time, right?
Right, exactly. Or just use his X-ray vision, eye stuff, and beam that ovaries till they're crispy brown.
Cook them up.
Cook up them ovaries.
So what to do to improve it? I don't know. If it kept going, obviously you're in Smallville and you have these little adventures week to week.
You did 10 seasons of Smallville. I can't believe it would go that long.
It probably should not have gone that long. Some things go way too long sometimes.
That's what she said.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we start our descent, please make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position.
IMDb. There is a score here. What do you think that score is?
6.5.
7.5 from 100 ratings.
Wow.
100 people said, I am going to spend a few seconds more and put in a rating.
I like it.
Viewer reviews. Frugal pilot, true to its source and time, 7 out of 10 stars.
What's frugal mean?
Cheap.
I don't think it's cheap.
I honestly, some of the outside sets, which were clearly not sound stages, I like that when it seemed like it was out in the real world. There's a lot of
all
great
the street scenes and stuff. It looked like a normal street.
This is from John T. Ryan from the United States of America, USA all the way. The notion of making any more episodes of the TV series The Adventures of Superman ended with the series star George Reeves in the summer of 1959. The copyright owner of the Superman Empire, which had included comic books, newspaper strip, radio show, movie serials, feature films, animated cartoons, as well as all sorts of merchandising, came up with this pilot TV series featuring the adventures of Superman when he was a boy. The idea had done well in the comic books, so why not on the small screen? Apparently the publisher, National Comics, also known as DC Comics, had leaked out this info as soon as it was soon reported in the TV sections of the daily newspapers. They even mentioned it in the letter columns of their comics and sent a mailing postcard to readers that they should watch Superboy on television. The series never materialized, and it's unfortunate that it did not. After having viewed the pilot film, one finds a decent, family-oriented story which was not ashamed to endorse the ethical, law-abiding way of life. In short, although it featured the presence of the young Superman, it was a story that could be anyone's story happening anywhere. It was at least as good as so much of the television series that was around 1961.
Wow.
A favorable review.
Yeah.
Let's see. Killed by Kellogg's Cornflakes. 8 out of 10 scars. Considering the era, its intended audience, the budgetary realities, this is a pretty good pilot film. The story is nothing profound, but is reasonable fare for Superboy story, emphasizing human drama and subplot over superheroics. Nonetheless, it treats Superboy and his world with far more dignity than many of the comic magazine stories of the time. Its dramatic value is on par with an average color episode of George Reeves' show, yet possesses none of the camp tendencies associated with the color years.
Okay.
A positive review, if you ask me.
Sure.
Superboy, 7 out of 10 scars. Let's see. Surprisingly good, since it was never given the green light as a series, at 8 out of 10 scars. The people who took the time to write reviews.
And they're lengthy reviews. They're detailed reviews.
They truly are.
Nerds.
More superhero nerds.
Fucking superhero nerds.
Oh, boy. It wasn't on purpose a theme for these past 2 weeks.
No, that's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Uh-oh.
It's fine.
It's fine?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's see how you think it's fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to FCF Airport. Local time is 11:11 and the temperature is 69 degrees. For your safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captains turn off the fasten seatbelt sign.
1. The loneliest number.
1 is the loneliest
show is built
number
on the
that
back of
you'll
his
ever
songs.
be. Landmines have taken my sight, taken my speech, taken my hearing, taken my arms, taken my legs, taken my soul. Absolute life in hell.
Now, was that a cover that Metallica did of 1 is the loneliest number?
Yeah, that was the original cut.
That was the original?
Yeah.
Well-
If you play Pet Cemetery backwards, it has that too.
And I just may do that at the Laser Light Show. 1 is the worst. 7 is the best. 7 is the best. This is the best you're going to get. That's our rating system.
Yeah, it comes from the hit television series Wings, 1 through 7. Roy Biggins is a 1. He's the worst, disgusting character on that show. And who is number 7?
Our boy with the jacket, Brian Hackett.
Brian Hackett.
Right?
Yeah, all in between. We've got Antonio Scarpacci.
Yeah, it's a number 3.
Helen Hunt.
Helen Hunt, a number 6.
Is it Helen Chapel?
It is.
It is. We've got Faye Vetton.
Faye Vetton, number 2.
What's her name?
Faye Cochran.
Faye Cochran.
Joe Hackett's a number 4, and friend of the show, Brian Haley, the character known affectionately as Bud Brodsky, is a number 5.
All
So
right.
not necessarily in order that they're all named.
It doesn't need to be in order. We just know it's a 1 through 7.
That's absolutely right.
It's not the name so much as it is the number.
Oh, you're right on. You're spot on. Captain Philip, rest assured, given the scale we just put into place, how do you rate the adventures of Superboy?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did. I enjoyed it. I was back in 1969. 61.
Yeah,
even.
talking about killing Fidel Castro. Right. That put me back there.
Yeah, the Bay of Pigs.
The other
Right.
white meat.
The white meat. I'm gonna give it a 5.
Yeah.
I almost want to give it a 6 for the Lana bump, but I'm gonna give it a 5.
This is bizarre to me.
Yeah, it was wholesome. It wasn't cheesy. It really wasn't cheesy, except for Jimmy's reaction when he squished the coal.
Yeah, it was a little over.
Yeah, other than that, I mean,
the top.
it reminded me of those kind of shows back then, like the Andy Griffith show. It told a story without being disrespectful and
Sure.
or immoral or anything like that. I mean, I want to see what happens, how Clark Kent does the abortion on Lana. I want to see when Jimmy starts getting addicted to methamphetamines.
And it would get there. It would cover all that territory for sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What do you give it?
It's funny to me because you're not a big superhero guy. You're quick to call me a nerd, which I've been hearing a lot lately. But yet, both of these past 2 weeks, you're giving out 5s, which is an okay score for these superheroes.
Respectful.
That's right, because you put your mind in those.
I've been in a pilot TV show.
Yeah, that's right. Clout. We're lousy with clout over here. I'm gonna repeat my score from last week. This is a 6.
Okay, nice.
I think this is a good show.
It's good to get a couple high scores in a row. It makes you feel like you're doing something worthwhile.
We're riding the high right now. This was good fun. It was 26, 27 minutes. It was not cheesy. This could super easily dip into the cheesy territory.
Yeah,
Not the
it
case.
definitely could.
High morale, super squeaky clean, Dennis the Menace kind of antics stuff, but also in tone serious where the dude's carrying around a gun.
Right.
This show is for kids 11 to 15.
Yeah.
That's your sweet spot, I think, right here.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Oh, my God. That is bad. But I think it's a solid 6. This should have gone to series. Maybe it was bad timing with the death of George Reeves. Maybe they made a miscalculation and tried too quickly to capitalize on the success of Superman rather than letting the poor man's corpse rot before they come out with something new. And with that, we close the book on the adventures of Superboy, and we will never mention it again.
Ever.
But join us next time, won't you please, when we watch the pilot episode of Driving Miss Daisy.
Oh.
Here's a little something to whet your whistle. Based on the Pulitzer Prize winning stage play and multi-Academy Award winning film. That doesn't have much of a summary.
That's it? I was sitting back waiting to hear more about it.
Do you ever see the movie? Yeah, probably not. You don't watch fucking movies.
I mean, I remember seeing parts of it. I never watched it all. I don't believe that a black person should be a servant of anyone.
A servant of men?
No. That's a long one probably, huh?
That's a half hour.
Really?
And okay, here's the summary for the actual film. Okay, an old Jewish woman and her African American chauffeur in the American South have a relationship that grows and improves over the years. So that's the popular film, and you got Morgan Freeman and Jessica Tandy. Those are your leads in that one. Those are the people. Hey, Dan Aykroyd's billed number 3, oddly enough.
Wow.
But those are your 2. Freeman.
Do you think
and Tandy.
Jessica Tandy or Morgan Freeman was number 1 on the call sheet?
I gotta say Tandy.
Yeah.
1989?
Out of respect.
89 Tandy.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
I
1994.
wanted you to say taint.
Tainty.
Tainty.
Jessica Tainty.
She's so tainty.
She's a tainty. But that's what it is. It's based off of that movie.
Okay.
That's not the first time. We watch other things based off of existing properties, right? Adventures in Babysitting, Diner, other ones, right? And you're probably saying, well, great. You're talking a bunch of shit about where can I see it? We can find the entire episode of Driving Miss Daisy by subscribing to Couch Pilots in iTunes or even your favorite podcast app of choice, and then click on one of our classically blue links in the show notes, or go to YouTube, and you know what to do, Tube. You're damn right. How do you want to contact us? Let me count the ways. Am I right?
There's a million ways, but I'm gonna dumb it down for everybody.
Please, let's just
even on the show notes. I've taken out all the links.
Yes.
Except for CouchPilotspodcast.com.
Yep.
And then the email address, which is CouchPilotspodcast@gmail.com.
Yep.
And then the phone number
is 910-PILOTS-1.
That's all you got to do, guys.
Yeah, it's 910-745-6871. Call us any time of day. Go to voicemail. Leave us something, right?
For all you millennials out there, just go to the website, CouchPilotspodcast.com. All our links to all of our social media are there. You can listen to an episode there. It's all there. We're doing everything for you. I don't want to hear you bitch and moan.
Yeah, stop bitching and moaning already, would you? We're sick of it. Jeez. Did we ever play our voicemail on here for the? Because some people doubt that it's real. Some people think that like we're making up like DSJ. Some people think that we make up the pachinko machine and the frequent flyers. It's not. They're like, it's not real. It's all garbage. Everything is very real, including the call-in number. Should we play the message, the voicemail, or that?
Yeah, I don't know if there's a message on there.
I thought we recorded one at one point.
Try it out. Let's see what happens.
Okay, send it right to voicemail.
It's been a while. You put it on speaker.
Yeah, it should show up on your phone, right? Can you send that to voicemail?
Yep.
Here we go. This is how you end a show.
It'll get there.
So can you just send it right to voicemail though?
Thanks for calling the Couch Pilot. Sorry we couldn't get to the phone. This is your Black Captain speaking.
I'm Philip Presta, sure.
We're out watching one-off television shows that never made it and flying the friendly skies.
Oh, they're horrible. I'm barely making it through.
They sure are, Captain. Anyway, leave us a message, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Thanks.
We love you. and we want to hug you and kiss you and stuff.
Yeah, that's the real deal, Holyfield.
I can't make that up.
No.
Well, I mean, I guess I kind of did with your help.
That's all right. Call it. We want to hear from you. We want to hear voicemails from you. It can't cost that much to call us from Australia. It doesn't.
No.
Lori Garcia, hopefully she's still alive. Conrad, we have not heard from Conrad in forever. I'm afraid that he went to too many rock concerts and punk concerts, and now he's dead.
If you can't hear because you've pierced your eardrums with loud noise, then why would you listen to a podcast? I pray to God that is not what happened to Conrad.
I hope not. Love that guy.
FCFnetwork.com. You know, we're part of a network of shows, the FCF Network. You like what you hear here? Go to FCFnetwork.com and check out all the other shows.
Do you hate what you listen to here? Go to the FCF Network and check out some better shows.
I doubt that they've listened this far if they hate it, but if you have, absolutely, either way, love or hate.
Kudos to you for being dedicated to stick it out.
And for hating yourself. Captain Philip, rest assured.
Hate me tomorrow. Hate me for all the things I didn't do.
And with that, this pilot may have been rough, but it's always a smooth flight here on Couch Pilots. Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
All the single ladies, give it up. We love you.
On behalf of Couch Pilots and the entire crew, we'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip, and we are looking forward to seeing you on board again in the near future. Have a nice day.
This has been a Fakakta Comedy Funhouse production, produced by Jason Tosher, executive produced by Blake Clayton. For more information and content, go to fcfnetwork.com.